What's up, guys? My name is Adam. I play in a metalcore band called Break the Design. And I just wanted to talk about some of my favorite albums of this year. I have quite a few. First, I'm going to start with the honorable mentions. So the first honorable mention I have is going to be Loathe. It came out pretty recently, and I listened to it maybe once, twice. And it's a really good album. It's just kind of hard because I need a little more time with it to sit and digest the songs fully. And also I Let It In is one of the best albums of all time. So I just need a little more time with it before I can comfortably say that it's gonna be one of my favorite albums of this year. Then next I have Varials. This album is stupid heavy, super good album. I just would say it's probably in my top 10, but I'm not sure if I can put it in my top 5, which is what this video is kind of about. And then next up I have Broadside. Not really a metalcore band, that's kind of why I didn't put it on this list. It's a really good album nonetheless, and it's so good that I even got it on vinyl. I actually really love this album. It's technically not really metalcore, so that's why I didn't put it on this list, but I wanted to mention it anyway. And then for the last honorable mention, I have Above Below. I remember listening to Lotus Chapters for the first time, and I was like, man, when is this band gonna drop an album again? And they finally did, and it's a super solid album. I haven't listened to it as much as I should, but I still think it's a really solid album, and I think you guys should give it a listen. Alright, kicking off my top 5 list, I have Static Dress Injury Episode. This album is really good. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. There's a lot of shoegaze elements, and there's also a lot of heavy moments that kind of remind me of earlier metalcore, especially that Under Oath feature. That feature is super killer. I think you guys should give it a listen. I think the production is super solid. There's so many really cool riffs. There's a lot of really catchy choruses, really good moments. Also, the album cover is very interesting. I think it is a very, very cool album cover, very much stands out, and I will comfortably say that this lands on my top 5 albums of this year. I'm not going to forget about the notable songs, those of which being Nostalgia Kills, Hospice, Pharmacy Film, and Mail Bomb. Those are probably my favorite tracks from the album. On the list, I have Nightmare Tripping by Don Broco. This album had a freaking chokehold on me when it first came out. The production is really nice. I think the most interesting thing is that I listened to a little bit of Don Broco before, but I really sat down and visited their discography. Holy shit, did they get heavier with this album. And I think it fits them so perfectly. That Sam Carter feature is top notch. And there's so many new metal-y riffs with super catchy choruses. Again, I'm gonna say that a lot in this video. But I genuinely think that this album is a step in a really cool direction for them. Not saying their old stuff is bad, but I just really like the sound that they had here. And I'm really excited for their next step. Oh yeah, and how could I forget to mention that Nickelback feature? That is literally one of my top 5 songs of this year already. I like that Nickelback feature is so interesting yet so cool at the same time. I'm not gonna forget about the notable songs being Nightmare Tripping with Nickelback, super cool feature. Somersaults, also a standout song for me. Hype Man, also a really good song. True Believers with Sam Carter, that one's really cool. But I would give the whole album a listen. I think this whole album is just really good. Alright, now this next one's gonna be kind of controversial. I have Amity Affliction, House of Cards. Yeah, they switched vocalists. I know it's very mixed, but I personally love Kingdom of Giants. And it kind of sucks that he's not in the band now. I will say, Johnny fits this band kind of like a glove in my opinion. This album isn't anything crazy or special, and it's nothing oh my god, it's not game changing, but whenever I listen to Amity, I don't really expect a new invention or reinventing the wheel. They just have sick riffs, cool drumming, stellar drumming, super catchy choruses, and I think Joel sounds better than ever on this album. I would give it a listen. I almost feel like it's really refreshing to hear Johnny instead of Aaron on an Amity album. As much as I did grow up listening to Amity, I think it is really refreshing to hear a new take on their sound, which I know might be controversial, but I would still give the album a listen. And for the notable songs, I have the title track, House of Cards. And then I have Kickboxer, which I know they played live before the album even came out. And then I also want to say Afterlife is a very, very cool song. And then also Break These Chains. Now for number 2, I have A Pale White Dot by Periphery. I think this album is very interesting. It's a little different for Periphery standards. I think a lot of the songs are trimmed down. Like, yeah, there's a few like long songs if you even want to like consider it that. For the most part, like, this is pretty trimmed down for a Periphery album. And the release was super out of nowhere. Like, I remember like Mr. God just like released, and I was like, no way we're getting a Periphery album in 2026. Like, I was really surprised. I wasn't complaining. I think this album is really good. It still has a lot of Periphery elements on it, and I think Spencer sounds spectacular on the album. They trimmed down the songs, and it's kind of like a little more experimental for them. There's a lot more like heavier tracks. Like, I remember they were playing with baritones in the studio, which I think was really cool. I think that this is kind of a step in an interesting direction, and I'm not sure how Periphery is going to evolve their sound, but I do really like this album, and I really like the sound that they went for. I also love that they're kind of continuing the synthwave trend with what they've been doing with Periphery 5 with the song Blackwall. And then also I think that the outro being a pale white dot is a really nice touch as a closer on the album. Like, it sounds cool, it sounds nice, good way to close the album. And the notable songs on the album for me are Subhuman featuring Will Ramos, super heavy song. Heaven on High is easily my favorite song on the album. I also love Everyone Dies Alone, Talk, and Malevolent. All those songs are phenomenal. I think those are my favorite. And then finally, for my number one release, it's gonna be Era with Silence Outlives the Earth. This album is like amazing. Like, from the production to the riffs to the choruses to the album cover, like, it's shiny on the vinyl. Like, look at that. It's also signed, not to flex. But anyways, I think this album is Cure done better, because when Cure first came out, I was a little disappointed. I did buy it on vinyl, but I was still a little disappointed because I think it was kind of a step down from Self-Titled. Self-Titled is like one of my favorite albums of all time. But I think Era took what they did with Cure and just did it like 10 times better on this album. It's like slightly shorter, if I remember correctly. And then not only that, but like, there's just so many cool riffs on this album. Like, Gore of Being, I know that was like a single from last year. Like, that song is spectacular. Further Eden being like one of my favorite songs this year. Like, I love the intro riff, I love the verse riff, I love the chorus, and that breakdown is just so good. Like, every time I hear it, it's literally just like free dopamine for me. I think this album is a lot more cohesive than Cure. I think they kind of had a more focused direction on this album as opposed to they did on Cure, because they were kind of, I think, trying a different sound, and I think they did it a lot better on this album. And Black Cloud being kind of like an octane core song is just, I think, really cool. Like, I think they conveyed the emotion and the lyrics of this song like pretty darn well, and I just think it's a phenomenal song, like very memorable. And then also Cicada Siren, also a really good song. And then also the trilogy of songs at the end of the album, that's like top notch way to close out an album. Like, a trilogy of songs that just flow into each other. Like, that's what I kind of look for in an album, and I can't help but to put this album as my number one of the year. And of course, the notable songs, I'm putting Further Eden on there, and then I'm also going to put Cicada Siren. Then out of the trilogy, my favorite one's gotta be The Many Names of God, and then of course Gore of Being, Spiral of Liminal Infinity. I love the clean guitar in the bridge of that song. And then to finally close out this video, I have some potential top 5s that I've been keeping my eye on. The first one's going to be Beartooth. I mean, I've covered like 8 Beartooth songs on my YouTube channel, so you know, I'm pretty excited for that. I loved all the new singles. The next release I have on here, not metalcore but Royal Blood. That new single is, I'm really happy with it. Like, I'm excited for how this next album is gonna sound. Then the next one's gonna be North Lane. Dude, that album cover is just like so good. I love the album cover, and so far the 2 singles that have come out have been really cool. I've been dying to hear new North Lane. And finally, this last one, Catch Your Breath, solid. I like their music. They're cool. Anyways, that wraps up my video. If you want to see more, I do covers on here. If you want to stream my band's music, go ahead. I'll have the links in the description. I'll try and do more talking videos like this, but till then, I'll see you in the next one.